Don't get lost in the astral spiritual awakening and enlightenment. Okay, so as I was explaining on my stories, if you are not looking at my stories on Instagram, I suggest you follow me on Instagram. The link is in the description because I share really potent topics in there and transmissions as well, and downloads and reflections for you in the field. So I was sharing that even though it seems that right now we're in the same physical reality, we're all in different configurations of consciousness. That's what astrals, hells, purgatory realms mean. And how do you know if you're in a hell, purgatory realm, or in an astral? Where do you usually vibe? In the scale of consciousness. Right now, Google in a different tab, map of consciousness, David R. Hawkins, and you have the colors of all the emotions. Where you abide mostly, consistently. And we all have different aspects of ourselves, our adult self, our inner child, our masculine, our feminine. So sometimes some aspects of us are abiding in a really high frequency, and we have another aspect that it's really weak in a really low point. So you can have an aspect of yourself that's vibing in a high frequency, in a higher heaven, and an aspect of yourself, of your inner child, that is trapped in a hell realm or in a lower astral. So every single realm of existence has its gods. So in a lower astral or in a hellish reality, sometimes there's gods of money, people that are possessed by thinking that by achieving more money they're going to be happy. That's a lower astral. People that are possessed with addiction, sexual addiction, masturbation, excess, alcohol drinking, drug abuse. That's all somebody that is in a lower hell, that is possessed by an entity that working through their body, they keep them bound to self-sabotage and into casual sex or into drinking or into drugging and things like that. What is another god for a purgatory? A god for a purgatory can be somebody that you haven't forgiven in the past, or a relationship you have had with an ex-partner or ex-lover or ex whatever, friendship, business collaboration, somebody that you haven't forgiven and you have a resentment. So you keep yourself in a purgatory realm where you keep projecting that person, and you keep giving power and energy to that god. So you're giving God's power of yourself to the other person, and you're keeping that aspect of yourself trapped in your psyche unconsciously in a lower level of existence. So my intention for you is for you to break all those contracts and close all those loops so you can consistently abide in a higher heaven. It's not special. I'm not saying this like, oh, I'm here and you're not. I'm saying this because I love you and I want you to close those portals, close those loops so you can be happy and you can be free. It's just like, dude, wake up. Why do you choose to keep recreating the same scene and the same scenario and keep abiding in hell? And you may think like, oh, right now we're in the same life. That means we're in the same realm. We're not. We're in such different vibrational spaces. There's a configuration of alignment that allows you to tap into me right now because your soul in your higher self is willing to receive this information because a part of you wants to heal, a part of you wants to get it. But it doesn't mean that we're in the same vibratory realm. Maybe right now for 5 minutes or whatever, an hour that these lives are, that I'm willing to be here for you. So don't get lost in the astrals. Walk straight ahead. And that's from David R. Hawkins. Walk straight ahead no matter what. All fear is illusion. Surrender all fear to God. Every time you want to break from one of the lower astrals, hellish realms, or purgatories, you're going to get tested. Why? Because the beings, the entities, the demons, the attachments, everybody has entity attachments. Everybody has demonic frequencies in their field. Everybody. Like, that's normal. Don't get scared. So, people that are abiding in lower realities, like misery loves company. They don't want you to jump into a quantum jump into a higher plane of existence because they're feeding off your energy. Those beings, those friendships, those collaborations, those seemingly gods in those lower realities are feeding off your energy, of your frequency. When somebody says hi to you on WhatsApp, when somebody sends you an email, when somebody reaches out, that's all energy exchange. So you're agreeing to a consensus reality, sometimes with beings that have attachments and demonic entities in lower hells. So, and they're gonna try to persuade you and hook you with anything. Be like, with your weakness. If your weakness is a lover, She may be and try to hook you from, oh, you were my lover, so love me. And she may be having an empty attachment. Or they can hook you with money. They can hook you with promising you the promise of a better lifestyle, the promise of a better tomorrow. But it's always tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. Like, stay bound to me, stay hooked to me, stay attached to me in these and sometimes these contracts comes from past lives and unconscious agreements and vows. So these beings, it doesn't mean that they don't have pure heart, they don't have a pure soul. They can have a pure heart, but that doesn't mean that in other chakras they may not have distortions or illusions or contractions. So if the people in your reality are not willing to look at themselves and do the inner work and own their shit and own their shadows and own where they're not being in alignment and help you heal and help you grow and renourish you, you don't need them in your reality, because those frequencies may be draining you. You gotta be wise. You gotta be discerning of who really deserves your love, attention, presence, and who do you want to allow into your field. Because if you're here, you may be committed to raise your frequency. If you're here, you're committed to growth. If you're here, you're committed to enlightenment, awakening, being in your heart, being in your passion, being abundantly electrified by your passion. But every time you set an intention for yourself, oh, I want to be in a higher reality, I want to live in my passion, I want to live in abundance, these entities from the past are going to come and snap at you and be like, are you sure? And they're going to test you with a carrot and a bait, being like, this is the promise of happiness now. This is the promise of happiness. I have what you need. I have what you want. So don't get distracted. Walk straight ahead. Walk straight ahead. And then see if those relationships, if those beings are courageous enough to own their shit and then meet you in a higher vibrational reality. And people don't want to talk about this because they're like, oh my God, that sounds so esoteric. That sounds so woo-woo. I mean, that's Earth. That's planet Earth. It's like the garbage of the universe. Truly. In those lower hells and lower astrals, in purgatories, it's a garbage. It's so sad. And I say this with compassion because I lived there a lot of my time. A lot of my lifetime, I lived in hell. That's why I can help you. Because I understand how it feels and I know how to get out of it. Like when you have anxiety, when you have fear, when you have regret, when you have remorse, when you can't sleep at night, panic attacks, things like that. Those are psychic attacks. Those are these entities, these frequencies, radio stations that you're bound to from previous lifetimes. So we got to cut those cords. We got to remove those energetic contracts. You got to remove all of that so you can abide in peace. Truth Porn Series, How to Manifest Your Dream Life.
Yeah, you can put it on the website, right? It's meta, right?
What do you desire the most? You can have it all because it's all you. What can I say? It's all vibration, stillness that creates success. I'm the monk that kept her Ferrari. Ferrari is just abundance, wealth, monies. Awakened modern mystic teaches you how to reach samadhi, liberated consciousness, enlightenment, and also enjoy the fruits of the illusion. And you can add your email address if you want to receive reports. We have an account member site, so when you subscribe, you are part of the family. And then you have access to our private videos. Oh, Impermanence. Or the Consciousness Research Center, which is our school, and that's more private. It's happening. Oh, beautiful.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Cool.